Nowadays, more often than not, more people are going to trail disc mowers. And when I ask them why they got away from a 3-point mower and went to a trail disc mower, the answer is almost always because it's so hard to hook up. Well, today, let me show you how I can hook and unhook this Kuhn 10-foot disc mower in the matter of minutes. And let me also give you some other tips to make it easier for you along the way. As you may notice, the disc mower has not been dropped evenly. And I don't know if you'll be able to see in the camera, but one side is quite a bit lower than the other. Now, this is a big fear when hooking up a disc mower, that if they're not even, you can really fight it. As you see, I have a quick hitch on this tractor. That's the main thing to do to make this an easy process. But let me show you another tip. If this disc mower is one side higher than the other, because even with a quick hitch, without this tip, this would be hard to hook up. Go ahead, back up close to the mower and hook up your hydraulic hose and then put it in the float position. Now, I don't know if I'll be able to catch this on camera one-handed, but with that hydraulic in the float position, I can actually take, I don't know if you're being able to see that, I can actually take and lift and lower this. So when this thing goes up and down, it doesn't go up and down like this, it actually goes like this or like this. This side was high. I took and lowered it, and although, like I said, you won't be able to see in the camera, I've now got it level. So I can lock the hydraulic remote and I can go to step 2. So now I have my hydraulic remote in the lock position. I've backed up squarely. And if you have to unhook the hose to get square, that's okay. Get square with it. Get your quick hitch right under here. See if I can do this one-handed on camera. You get that top hook under. There's the clutch. And I'm a little bit off to one side. I'm a little bit too far to the right. So I said get square, but I didn't do it myself. This usually goes better when I'm not showing anybody. With that hose hooked up, that's why I said you can unhook it, because you can only back up so much, or pull forward so much rather. And I've got slop in the 3-point arm, so that arm does not want to go over. Usually I hit this every time, but let me show you if you're having problems what you can do. I've got just a little bit of pressure on it. Here's the issue, but I think I righted it when I got it out of the tractor almost, because that little piece right there sometimes hit that quick hitch, but I think it'll pick up now. Let's try it. Let's try it again. And there it's going. I think we about got it. Let's go out and check our locks. So the right side locks down. Go ahead and flip that over. This one's not. We'll just have to fidget it just a little bit. But what you can do is you can, once you get one side locked, you can leave it and float and pull that down, lock it, and then pull back up. It takes a little bit of practice. I probably won't be able to show you every little thing on this video. You'll have to play with it, but trust me, if you guys weren't watching right now, this would be a 3-minute procedure. So now that side's latched. I can put my hydraulics in the float position. the problem you run into. That side's latched, and this side will not latch. That's because this little piece is too far in. So, I usually don't have any of these problems till I put it on film. Usually it goes on right away, but let me show you how you can fix this issue. We want to bring the 3-point this way. So what we can do is put the tractor in low gear, turn the wheels that way, bring the rear end this way, and it'll drag over. Let me show you. There it went. You could probably hear it. So then I'll just lift this up. Well, some goober forgot to set their latch. That'd be me. Doing everything wrong today. This video should be how not to hook up a disc mower, but seems like nothing ever works good on camera. But I moved the tractor, slid the front end to the right, rear end went to the left, and this isn't the perfect design. I wish there was some way that it didn't do that, but it does. But that happens about 10% of the time. If you ever have a problem with that though, if you get the center and one side hooked, you've got it then. So, you see, she's ours. I promise you, it usually takes less than a minute to get to this point. So, you've got your 3-point hooked up. That's the hard part of disc mowers. You got the 3-point all latched. So, what's our next step? Some of you that already have mowers probably know this, but our next step is we have to get this parking stand, or this keeps your when you park it, keeps that spring from pulling. Otherwise, when you park the mower, it just go whoop. This part would just go up. So, how do we get that off? If you're like me and you bought one of these 3-point disc mowers and had no clue how to hook it up, keep watching. To take pressure off of that, and I just realized I didn't move my 3-point or PTO shaft, but it'll ride. We lift the 3-point up. And when we do that, the pressure is going to come off the mower, and we can take that stand off. Take this stand off. It flips up here out of the way. Now the next thing we're going to do is put our limit chain on. This chain goes from here to up here. I'm gonna pause you because I can't do it with one hand. Okay, I've got the limit chain hooked up here on my top link. So now it can't fall on our head. The next thing we're gonna do is the PTO shaft. I keep the PTO shaft over there out of the way, under the curtain, so it can't get water on it, on a tire up off the ground. And the PTO shaft's gonna be the first thing you take off and the last thing you put on. You don't want to mess up your PTO shaft while you're wiggling around trying to get this thing hooked or unhooked. But let me hook that up now. Okay, PTO shaft's on. That's probably what I consider the hardest part of the job on this thing. We've got our PTO shaft, our limit chain, our hydraulics. Both our couplers are down and locked in. So, close our toolbox. The only thing we have left to do to go in transport mode, take our rope, hang that on our back window, and let me show you how to put it in transport mode. So, you're in mowing mode, you've wanted to put in transport mode, you gotta fold the curtain up, and I don't know if you'll be able to see in the video, this little square block, it's got a gap. You want about a 1/4 inch gap when you set your 3-point height on level ground. It's a little bit lower because I'm not on level ground, or a little bit more gap I should say. So to put this thing in transport height or mode, can't talk today, grab your rope, lift it up, see if I can do this and still hold the camera, and then pull your hydraulic lever. Oh, I missed it. And once it gets past that, I'm telling you people, this is so much harder on camera. Let's see. Once it does that, I usually pick up the 3-point a little bit. and finish locking it up. Now, we are in transport mode. We are ready to go to the field. Now, I'm going to show you how to take it off the tractor. Alright, you got done mowing hay. Now it's time to take this thing off. First thing we've got to do, grab our rope. Try not to shake you. Take tension off of this. Try to keep that from snagging our rope. There it goes. We're going to leave this up with the mower, with the 3-point up and the mower tilted down. Now we're going to clean this area off. Right against this ledge is where the stand sits. Get hay all over you. Grab a hold of this. Let it come down. And while you've got this thing up in the air, it's not a bad time to take this PTO shaft off. So let's get this out of the way. Alright, PTO shaft's out of the way. Next thing we need to do is get in the tractor and let it down on the stop. Okay, we're going to let it down. Get the 3-point down a little bit. One thing I forgot, take that limit chain off. Let me do that real quick. Your limit chain from there, back there. So we don't have to get under it anymore. That PTO shaft's off, so the limit chain can come out. Okay, back to what I was doing. Let that down. That stand's gonna sit there. We want to kind of get the 3-point hitch to where there's just a little bit of pressure, but not much. That's what I've got. It's holding it up a little bit, but not a whole lot. Now we unhook our remote. Pull that back here. Get it out of the way. And all we got to do is pull these handles. See it drop down a little bit. Has a little less pressure than I thought. Take our trip rope, get it out of the way. So, we're just about there. Back in the tractor. I want to get it in a low forward gear. Let that down. Pull up out of the way. Only thing left to do is to put our PTO shaft back. PTO shaft's back, under there off the ground. Throw the cover over, and that's how I leave it. I know it'd be better if it was in a barn, some building, but unfortunately I don't have a building wide enough I can come in or tall enough I can come in with this on. So, in the winter time, I take it off and it's kind of a pain, and I put it in the barn, but my barn doors aren't tall enough to go in with it up or wide enough to go in with it down. So I've made it a lot harder than it really is. I swear if you guys weren't watching, this would have, coming off nearly wasn't that bad, except forgetting the lemon chain, but the rest of it, it's really not that bad usually, but when you're trying to film and you're trying to do everything one-handed, but most of the time I can probably be on in 3-4 minutes and be off in 2 or 3. So if you get a mower that's quick hitch compatible, it's really not that bad. I know this one is. I know some mowers don't like to fit a quick hitch real well, but that's kind of how I do it. And if I had to hook it up direct every time, I probably would be looking for something else too. So If you got time, stay and watch another one of my videos. I'm going to link them here, and if you like anything you saw and maybe learn something of how I do it, and maybe hit something that can help you, hit that subscribe button, turn the notifications on, and I'm going to get out of here, but watch another video if you have time. I appreciate you. Bye.